Hello everyone and welcome to Broughy Verified episode 5, and in this video we're going to be focusing on the Broughy Verified playlist number 6. So for those of you who don't know, again this is just a series where I showcase sort of the best races from the community for you guys to sort of learn about and race on. And so far at this point we've had 4 different videos for this and 5 different playlists of races. So Broughy Verified 1, 2, 3 and 4 were all 8 player races. And Broughy Verified 5 was the first 16 player playlist that we had for this series. Now Broughy Verified 6 is going to be another 16 player playlist. So basically, you know, at the moment we've got 4 playlists of 8 player races and 2 playlists of 16 player races, all Broughy Verified race tracks, which are, in my opinion, the best tracks to race on if you like, you know, serious tracks. So again, when you click the link down below to add the playlist, you'll be taken obviously to this playlist page, and then you can click in the top right to add the playlist to your game, and that will be accessed through my bookmarked playlists in game, and you just play through the entire 10 races. Or you can click at the bottom on add to game there, and that will be for each individual job. You can add the job to your game and just play them individually, add them to your own playlists, things like that. So we'll start with the Xbox 360 side with Broughy Verified 6, and again 16 player playlist for this one. And we start with my latest track that I've created, which is Cutting Corners GP. Again, if you haven't seen that the video for that, you can just have a look on my channel. That's my latest creation. And then we move on to another creation of mine, which is the North Loop East, so the east section of the North Loop when I split them up. When we move on from that, we go to Apex Predator, which is actually featured in Broughy Verified 5 on the PS3, but it was recreated for the 360, so I've put it into here. Then we have Higher Turning, which is obviously a play on the words of higher learning, because it does use some interesting roads around that university section that aren't used very often. And then we've got Uptown Downtown, which is a really fun race that crisscrosses its way through Upper Vinewood, across those jumps that you use around that area. And then Airport Dash 2 is a sequel to the original Airport Dash, which was a lot shorter and was featured in Broughy Verified number 3. So Life Invader Circuit is next, and that is a really fast, really flowing race around the inner workings of Los Santos, really technical as well in some areas, really interesting race there. And then Hit the Apex, which is only the second Rockstar Verified race to be Broughy Verified as well. Really long, really interesting. And then we finish up the playlist with the North Loop West, obviously countering the North Loop East in the sort of the same area at the front of the playlist. And then the last race is Grand Tour. Obviously, you know, a lot of long straights on this one. But it's certainly the most interesting point-to-point race that Rockstar have created. Very long, and it's just a nice end to the playlist and this series in general, really. So the PS3 version of Broughy Verified 6, again, it's a 16 player playlist, and it starts the same way that the Xbox 360 version did, with Cutting Corners GP as the first race and the North Loop East as the second race. Again, you know, just to keep these playlists consistent across both consoles, I've generally always started and ended the playlists in the same way, and that is the same through all of the 5 playlists that we've done previously. So the first proper race is Over and Under Bridges, which pretty much does what it says on the tin and puts you over and under bridges. It's a really fun race. And then we've got Project Z Grand Prix, which is just a really technical race. Very well made, and it's very tricky to get a good lap around there. Then we've got Casino Royale GP, which uses those roads around Mirror Park and the casino area. Very interesting race, something a bit different. And then we've got Inner City Sprint, which is a very fast-paced race. A lot of very quick corners that you can take at high speeds, but it will be hard to get it right. Then we've got Vanilla Unicorn GP, which uses that area around the Cutting Corners track. Very interesting corners, again some fast-paced corners and some technical track corners as well. Then we have Hit the Apex again. Obviously we finish the playlist in the same way. Hit the Apex, which again the Rockstar Verified race. The North Loop West, and then Grand Tour to actually finish off the playlist. So again, you know, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 versions of the playlist both start and finish with the exact same tracks, just to keep it consistent, and that has been a similar thing to what we've done across all the other playlists as well. They've always started and finished with the same tracks that are available on both consoles. So obviously you'll see some clips now of all of the races on the Xbox 360 and then all of the races on the PS3. I won't include Cutting Corners GP or the North Loop races. I'll just include the middle 6 races, just because, you know, you should already know the other races really, I guess, because I've already made videos about them. So Broughy Verified 6 is kind of the end to this series. You know, it's a nice finish to the Broughy Verified series on this generation at least. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this series. As I mentioned in the previous video, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this series when it comes to next gen. I'm not sure whether I'll continue to do this, because it is quite time consuming to look through a lot of races, and I guess I didn't spend as much time with Broughy Verified 6. I had to be a lot more harsh because I just don't have the time, with the fully modded testing taking up all my time. I haven't had the time to really sort of, if I saw some potential in a race, I haven't had the time to contact the race creator and work together with them to make the race better. The prime example of that from Broughy Verified 5 is Apex Predator. That wasn't quite like it is now. You know, I actually saw some potential for that race to be very good, and I worked with the creator to make it better. For example, the tight twisty section came from me working with him, you know, rather than, it was very different to what it is now. So that's the kind of race that has come from me working with the creators on Broughy Verified 5, and that's the sort of thing that you aren't going to be seeing in Broughy Verified 6. I've kind of had to be very, very harsh with the races, judge them very harshly if it didn't sort of fit in with the playlist feel that I wanted with it, or if it didn't, if it had a few checkpoints out of place or a few props out of place. I didn't really have the time to really contact the creators and improve them. So for Broughy Verified 6, you know, these are all races that have kind of been thrown in because they were already very, very good races. You know, they were tried and tested, and they were ready just to go. You know, they didn't have any issues with checkpoints, didn't have any issues with props. The track itself flowed very well. The corners were all worked very well together. The tracks didn't have any major issues. They weren't boring, you know, and that's kind of how Broughy Verified 6 has been in comparison to Broughy Verified 5, where I sort of spent I would say a lot more time actually working with people to make sure the races were up to standard. Broughy Verified 6 has those races that are up to standard, but I had to be very harsh in the way that I was choosing them, and only choose really the best 5 races from other people on each console. So I suggest you do give this playlist a go. It will be a lot of fun. There are some really, really good races in there. The playlist itself has a nice feel to it. Similar to Broughy Verified 5, you know, the two 16-player playlists are pretty much the cream of the crop when it comes to races on this game from everybody else, in my opinion. Obviously, you know, they are from a lot of different people, so they have different styles to them as well. You know, some have fast corners, some have slow corners, using different props in different ways, and that's the beauty of having races from a lot of different people. You get all these different styles of races come in, and you have a bit of variety with the races that you have. So definitely give it a go, you know, give Broughy Verified 5 a go as well, and also the first 4 playlists as well. Obviously check out the videos down below in the description, and you'll be able to see sort of all of the races that we've had so far in this series. So as I said, you know, this is probably the end of the Broughy Verified sort of mini series, at least for this generation. You know, I probably won't be going through any more races to make any more videos for PS3 or 360, and I might not do it for PS4 or Xbox One or PC and things like that. It depends. It all depends on, really. GTA for me is at a crucial point now where next gen really needs to give us something special. You know, it needs to push the game on to new levels, and especially with the creator, I could very, very easily get into the creator quite a lot and make a lot of good races if we were given the tools to do it. You know, more props, more checkpoints, that sort of thing. I would love to see a lot more props, just to make these races as good as they can be, really. And that's something that I'm really hopeful for next gen. I'd really like to see that. If we don't really get that in next gen and it's all just the same as what this generation's been like, I can't see me really focusing on the creator that much, or even just focusing on GTA in general that much. For me, the creator is an amazing tool, and for Rockstar to give us more of it and, you know, better tools to use it, that would be fantastic. And that's kind of what I'm hopeful for next gen, and that's I guess is where this series is going to go. You know, that will determine how much I play on the on GTA next, you know, in the next year, I guess. How much I focus on the creator, it will all depend on what they give us for the next generation of games. Because obviously, you know, we have hit the kind of the limit of what this generation can do. I think, you know, you see props sort of pop in every now and again on the PS3 and things like that. You know, we've kind of reached the limit. So I really do hope that next gen gives us more tools to make some better races. So I hope you've enjoyed this series, this sort of mini series, and, you know, be sure to check out all of the races from all of the Broughy Verified playlists. We have had 6 playlists now. Check them all out because they're fantastic races. Let me know what you think about all the races down below, as always, you know, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.